temperature converter, and this is a temperature converter we're coding. So it's ugly, but I'm not working with CSS, and if we put 15 there, the Celsius per 120 Fahrenheit. Is that even true? It is. Alright. I think Fahrenheit is easier, so I'm coding a Celsius to Fahrenheit converter. Right, you can do Fahrenheit to Celsius or whatever. Alright. Um, I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can use anything. And you can even see the code back here. That's the JavaScript code. But I'm gonna be showing how everything works. If you watch the video. 1 second, sorry. I'm having trouble. Alright, you want to create a new file, index.html, and inside here you're going to add a doc type. And this we go to the beginning of every HTML website. We're going to add an HTML tag, which also goes there. In a head are like links to CSS files, and the title and stuff like that we're going. And the body is what you see on the page. So I just add a title in here that says temperature converter C to F. We're gonna use a H1, F1, and let's copy this thing right here. And I didn't copy it. Why did I? We need to Control Z if you make a mistake. Alright, and you want to create a form. And then you want to name the form, so just name equal CTF Celsius to Fahrenheit, and that's you want to create an input. A form is nothing without its inputs, but like if you go to google.com, this thing you're typing into is a form. That thing is a form, so you can type stuff inside it and stuff. Then the input, we want the type to be a number. So then this is an input. So let's go back to Google. If we go over here, this thing is a form, but the thing we're actually typing into, that's an input. This stuff is inputs. So that's an input. So we want the type to be numbers, so the user can enter letters. And we want the ID of this to be Celsius input, and the name input. And you can do Fahrenheit input, but I think Fahrenheit is easier than Celsius because I use Fahrenheit more. So I'm gonna do it Celsius to Fahrenheit. If somebody ever tells me 20 Celsius, I'll just use this thing. Actually, I probably won't use this thing because this thing not that good, but whatever. And then you want to, and right now, if we not this, we open index, you see the person won't really know that that's where you put the thing into. What do you call that? The Celsius number into. So we're gonna create a label, and what a label does is basically you can type something in here like Celsius, and if we do this, that will work, but to specify it, it would always be better if you had the for attribute with the ID of the thing in here. And you won't be able to see an effect, but from what I learned, it's good to do that because it makes the code more readable and it probably does something. And now we want the submit button. Now the only way to submit what you put in here is one second, is by clicking the enter button. And you can see you can type in the E thing because E has something to do with math, I think. And you can see what we typed in there, but we have to click enter for that. That's kind of annoying. Not that annoying. Yeah, I just click enter, but we could add a submit button. And to that, you've added input, and its type is submit. And if you do this and you reload this, submit, that's gonna come there. But you can add the value attribute and set it to something else, like submit in our capitals. And now if you reload this, voila, and that looks a bit ugly, so you might want to add a line break. Yeah, that looks better. But I can make it without CSS. And we're actually almost done with this. After you add the JavaScript code, we're gonna run the JavaScript code with a couple of lines. And the way we're gonna run it is gonna be ran in the browser with the script tag. Let's name the script.js. And now, when you create a function, you can name it anything. Name it CS to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is hard to spell. And then you're just gonna const C, and C is what they entered. And to get that, you're just gonna get the name of the form, which is CTF dot the name of the input you want to get the information from, dot value. That would give us what they entered, and then that's it. Yeah, it should be very hard for me, but I discovered that's how easy it is. I was disappointed. Not that disappointed, I was happy that it was easy, but I was sad that I never figured it out. And F is just gonna equal C times 9 slash 5 plus 32. And then you want, and that doesn't still, and now you want to display it. So document is the document, this thing, I think. Document, I don't really know that. Document is the page. This page is the document. This page is the document. You want the body from that. So document.body. And document.body is this thing right there. And you can do it with anything like document.h1. Would that work? Yeah, I think that would work. Document.body. Anyway, document.body dot inner HTML equals. So now we're accessing all of this stuff and we're setting it to what we want to set it to. So what I'm gonna set it to is this as a h2 tag. h2 plus C plus is so let's say the user entered 50 Celsius. Is a 50 Celsius is make sure to enter the spaces. It look ugly if you don't enter the spaces. H2, so there's a Celsius, 50 Celsius is 122 Fahrenheit if the person enters 50 Celsius. And you want to add a closing tag. I'm assuming you know a little bit about JavaScript. If you don't, that's how you declare a function. There's function name, the parameters go in here, and then the code inside the function goes in those curly brackets. And that's not it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add an event listener to CTF dot on click. We can do it like this. And I'm gonna do not on click, I mean on submit. On submit is what I'm gonna do, and then our function right there. And don't add the parentheses like that. It needs to be like that. And that is mostly it was, oh wait, I forgot to add this thing right there. Regular code helps me. And that is actually almost it, but then you want to add the script tag. And in the script tag, you can add JavaScript code, but we're not, so technically if you can copy that and put it in there, but it looks way better when it's in different files. So to run the code in this file for the browser, all you're going to do is add script tags and then source equals the path of the JavaScript file, which right now is script.js, and if you want to test it, you could just control click on it in order to do your code. But if this is in a folder, like if we move this in a folder like that, or this in a folder, yes, and then it won't work. It'll be like this doesn't exist, which right now I'm not too worried about because I don't need the JavaScript thingy. And now you're done. Yeah, you can like this and 50 submit. It works. What can I say? And it works with the decimal. Does it work with decimal? Add that in. Yeah, it doesn't work with the decimals. It only works with whole numbers. Yeah, I mean it works, which is cool. And if you want to make it even better, you can just in the input you could add required. And what that would do is when you go over here and you reload it, if they don't add anything, or tell them please fill out this field, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna leave it there. You can do what you want, and yeah, subscribe, and you can join my Discord server in the description.